Hey guys, it's Raitis Stalazs, and my guest today will share how she took a leap of faith and quit her corporate job to create an incredible life. Sheri Fink is a #1 best-selling, award-winning author, creator of the whimsical world of Sheri Fink brand, and international speaker. She creates books, products, and experiences that inspire and delight kids of all ages while planting seeds of self-esteem. Sheri has expanded her inspirational brand with books, live experiences, beauty items, and music, all designed to create magical experiences for her fans. She became a #1 best-selling record artist with her 2014 release of her first inspirational album, Love Notes. Hi Sheri, I am so thrilled to have you on my show, and I remember the first time I heard your inspiring story of you being in a job that you did not like and the courage that you took to just quit your job and move on to something that you love and you're passionate about. Would you be so kind and share that story, how it happened?
Absolutely, I would love to. Well, I had worked really hard to be in the corporate job that I was in. I was there I was in the career for over 12 years in a variety of different companies. And I kept working my way up and realized that my ladder was up against the wrong wall. And the way that I realized that was that I just didn't have the passion for it. I didn't wake up and feel alive and excited, like with juicy goodness, like every day, you know, or any day. So during this time when I was having these realizations that it wasn't maybe the long-term choice for me that was right, I had this gift of adversity. I was being bullied in the workplace by another woman. And it was extremely hard for me. I didn't know what to do. I tried everything, nothing worked. And one day I was driving to work, and you know, I'm not a quitter. Like, I'm not someone that runs away. I worked too hard to get where I was, so I didn't want to just leave. And so I was driving to work and I was crying, and I was just at this point of surrender where I thought, I will do anything to improve this situation. I had no more ego about it. Like, I would just try anything to make it better. And at that moment, when I completely surrendered, this idea came to me, and it was about a little rose that grows up in a weed bed and thinks that she's the weed and learns that she's a beautiful rose, no matter what anyone else thinks about it. And it was so amazing because then the story wrote through me in the car. Like, literally, I wrote it at stoplights. I had a back of an envelope I pulled out of my purse, little mini golf pencil out of my console because it's all I had to write with, and I was writing it on my leg at stoplights. And I didn't even know what it was. But at that moment, I said to myself, you know, I cannot continue this anymore. So I decided a year from that day, and I didn't know what that story was. I didn't know I'd ever do anything with it. I put it away for over a year, but I decided that day, a year from now, I will either be working for someone else, I'll be doing something different, or I'll be doing something for myself.
I mean, a lot of times when I talk to a lot of people, one of the biggest things that people are afraid of when they want to strike on their own is like, you know, I want to strike on my own, but I'm afraid that I'll run out of money pursuing what I want to pursue. What's your take on this?
I think it's a legitimate fear that we all have, but for me, I created an exit strategy. So I didn't just leap out the door, you know, I made a promise to myself that a year from that day, I would then be on to something new. And what I did was I saved as much of my salary as I possibly could over that year period to make that transition easier for me. And I didn't know I was going to be doing a book and making a huge investment into that. So thank goodness I saved the money up because it gave me freedom. Not only freedom to leave and to make other choices for my lifestyle, but also to invest in a new business opportunity that was calling to me, and I just couldn't resist it. I think that's the key, is following the things that really inspire us. And even if they're scary, and believe me, I was scared all the time, you know, that's where the goodness is. That's where the magic happens, when we step out beyond that and we give ourselves the gift of having a level of security in that situation rather than just go, you know.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I mean, even with, you know, myself, it's starting on the side. I think that's very smart, you know, starting doing your little projects on the side and then saving up money and then striking on your own down the road instead of just cutting everything and I'm leaving. Right. You gotta have a plan. Is that what you
Exactly.
saying?
And I think you build that foundation, right? Just like you build the foundation for your career, you build the foundation for your freedom, for your lifestyle that you really want. It doesn't just happen overnight, but it's so worth it. You know?
I mean, it's crazy, written out like about 5 books, right? And did you always knew you want to be a writer, or that just was kind of like surprise talent, or just kind of discover later in life? What happened?
It was an accident, really? Actually. A happy accident. Yes. Well, as a kid, I was always creating my own little worlds. Like I would write things, I would draw, I would paint, I would create my own little books, you know, and make covers out of the cereal boxes and my mom's fabric. Like I would do things like that all the time. I created my own games. I designed my own Barbie clothes. Like I had a bracelet braiding company at one point. Like just all kinds of entrepreneurial ventures as a kid, and no one I knew was like that. So everyone, like my family, is like, what's wrong with this kid? You know, just go ride your bike. But that wasn't for me. Like I just enjoyed creating. And then I lost touch with that as I worked hard to get a scholarship, to overcome the situation in which I was born, and to be the first person in my family to ever go to college and then get my master's and work the whole way through, you know, and thought I needed that big sexy job to validate my ego, and said that I made it and I was a success. And then when I got it, I thought, you know, that's not really what I was looking for. The fulfillment that I wanted wasn't there. So I think really aligning ourselves with what's really important to us, and then following that dream, like, because I did always love to create, and now I get to create like what I consider magical experiences through books and plays and all kinds of things for kids and adults, and it's so fun. It feels like play. You know, but now I'm doing it like for real.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And so how did your parents deal with this? Like when you said, I'm going to quit, I'm going to start this book line, you know, write these books, how did they react to that?
Well, I think they've always known I'm a little bit crazy. I've always been different. I've always been a bit of a rebel in that way, but I'm very strategic, and they respect that about me, even if they can't see the path ahead. And the great thing about me too is that I don't need their approval anymore. So I've learned to let go of the need for other people's validation, and to just look at what feels right for me. And I know, like in the past, when I was on that other trajectory, which served me very well, I was in my head all the time. I made decisions with my head, which is great. However, there's a whole nother level of living and magic that happens if you make your decisions from your heart. And that's something that I had no clue when I jumped into this, like, possibility, you know, and now like following my heart, and I make the decisions that feel right more than sound right. And my parents, like, I don't know if my dad fully knows how to comprehend that, because he doesn't belong, like he doesn't feel like he belongs in my world. But when he comes to an event and he sees the way that people react around me, I mean, people are amazing. Sometimes they come up and they cry when they meet me. They cry. And for my family to witness that, and I'm such a small town girl, and like to grow up and have that success and that that feeling that what I'm doing makes a difference, and to have them witness that is really, it's just really powerful, and it's the icing on the cake.
So I really like how you said you go with your heart. And many people might be like, what the hell does that mean, right? So how do you connect with your heart? How do you listen to your heart to do the right thing?
Actually, I have a couple different paths that work for me. Meditation's a big one. It's so important to have that connection with myself. And I find that if I don't do it every day, I feel a little off. It's okay, you can skip it every now and then, but you feel it a little bit. But when I am in alignment, I feel that my decision making is very clear. It's easy for me to tell like what's a yes for me, what's not a yes, and most things are not a yes. And I'm okay with that now, saying no to people when I need to, with dignity and grace, of course. And then working out is a really big one for me too. That's something that in the last couple of years has become one of my top priorities every single day, is to focus on my fitness and my nutrition, and really take care of myself. You know, something that I don't think a lot of us realize, that we invest so much time and money and energy in everything and everyone else, but that's the one thing for me that has made the most dramatic difference, is being able to be strong and feel energetic, and you know, it changes everything. So that's a big one. And another one would be surrounding myself with people like yourself. Like you need to have other roses around you, because as a rose, you feel very different sometimes, and we do think about things differently. And that's one of the things I love about you, is that we just think differently. We're more in the sky with our ideas. We're more visionary, but also very strategic, and take action. And you need to be around people who are like that, because it inspires you to do more. Every time I talk to you and you've got something new going, I'm like, oh my goodness, like that's so amazing. Like if Raitis can do this, maybe I can do that. Like, you know, it just being around that energy makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely. I know there are a lot of people out there that, you know, they have friends who are negative, and every time they share an idea, they tell them that it's a stupid idea, you're never gonna do it, that's too big, too ambitious. Like, what would you tell to the people that have these kind of negative friends, how to deal with them?
Well, I would say, speaking from my heart, telling the truth, is that they're not your friends. If they don't believe in you and they can't support you fully and wholeheartedly, then there's someone else that will, you know, and not to waste our time with situations that drain our energy, because the energy is our most precious, it's the most precious thing we have, our time and our energy. And if we're investing it in a place that continues to suck it out of us, there's no return on that investment. And it's okay to still love that person and care about them and bless them and send them on, but what I do when I recognize that situation in my own life is that I just focus on the things that do give me that energy payback. So the things that fill me up, nurturing other people, like being around inspiring people, doing things that uplift myself, you know, and others. And then I have so much fulfillment doing this. There's no time. There's no time to engage in the drama that other people are creating for themselves. And, you know, I still wish them well. I just don't need them in my inner circle, because that's precious.
Absolutely. Sheri, I really like how you shared that, you know, time is precious and it's important to decide what is important to do to create the most results. I mean, you created all this within like 4.5 years. So share some of the strategies and tips, like what do you do to make the productive day and achieve all your goals in the fastest and most efficient way?
Sure. Well, I get up early. That makes a big difference for me because, you know, I'm on the West Coast. The East Coast wakes up earlier than we do. And I try to be very mindful about how I invest my time throughout the day. So if it's not a hell yes, as our good friend Jack Canfield, creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, says, it's a hell no. And so, so if it's something that feels delicious and fun and exciting, or it moves me forward in a big goal, then that's a hell yes. Anything else is a no thank you, I'd love to, but I just can't. And that saves a lot of energy and time. And then I have a journal, like I use every day. I call it my bliss book. And that's because it helps me create bliss in my life. And I do gratitudes every day. I think about the serendipities that have happened, the things I'm grateful for that are magical in my life. And I decide right up front, like the day before, what are my top 5 priorities? What am I gonna focus on? If nothing else gets done this day and these 5 things happen, the day is amazing, right? And then I also set intentions about how I want to be, how I want to show up. Do I want to be bold or passionate or loving or inspiring or fun, depending on what I'm doing that day and who I'm going to be with. I just decide when I first wake up, this is me today. And then I constantly check with myself. Am I acting in a way that's loving? Am I treating myself in a way that's loving? You know, those kinds of things to realign. Because for me, it's really about alignment. And I think when we can get in alignment with what really matters, so the top 5 priorities are aligned with my top goals, which are aligned with my top values for my life. And then you make tremendous progress every single day because there's alignment. And every day you're getting 5 actions done toward your big goals, which support your big values. You know?
It's powerful.
And then magic happens. You just build momentum, and before you know it, you've achieved so much. And people ask you questions like that, and it's so exciting.
I'm just like blown away at all ideas that you shared today. And what is the final thing that you would like to tell to the people that are watching this video right now? Maybe they're at the job that they hate and do not like. What would you tell them to do? I would say, don't give up. There is hope. It can happen. I would seek out people who've done it before. If there's bound to be someone that's done something similar, or at least even took that leap of faith and been successful at it. And I would look for people who are not only successful, but happy and successful at what you want to accomplish. Seek them out. Befriend them, take them out to lunch, take them out to dinner, see what you can do to add value to their life, and then ask them questions like you're asking me today, like how did you do it? What was the most powerful choice that you made? Knowing now what you didn't know then, what would you suggest for me? You know, use that knowledge, like success leaves clues, right? Find the clues and follow the path and see what can happen a lot faster rather than trying to figure it all out yourself, because it's okay not to know. It's not okay to stay stuck because you don't know. In my mind anyway. And then the other thing I would say is that just keep moving forward. Every day take a step. Every day, one step in the direction of the goal, and before you know it, it will be achieved. And then you'll be celebrating.
And that's the best.
That's wonderful. And I know a lot of people now just listening to you being so energetic and inspiring that I found you, and I know a lot of people that watch this video will find the same. And where can they go find you, learn about you, what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that. Well, my website is www.sherifink.com. And then I'm also very, very active on my Facebook fan page, and that's www.facebook.com/SheriFinkFan. And I would love to connect.
Thank you so much for watching. Sheri and I, we thank you for being here, for watching this video. I really hope you got inspired and motivated to take action and get out and live the life that you envision for yourself. And again, you living small life doesn't serve the world. So go out, dream big, and act even bigger. Thank you, and have a fantastic day. Awesome work. That was great.